Deuce loosely, devil's favorite advocate, back with another one of these elongated news type thingies, sprinkled liberally with opinion and perspective and that kind of crap. So, without any further ado, there's a lot to get through this week, so let's just get to it. And I'm gonna, once again, I'm going to run these down in the order that I received them. And I'm going to do my very best to keep the updates and, the stuff that the updates came from in one neat little package. So, anyway, here we go. First of all, Kevin Owens, that is, formerly Kevin Steen, that dude that's now in NXT, had a partial meniscectomy. That word. He had a partial meniscectomy recently. And, it's, for those of you who don't know what that is, it has something to do with your knees. And apparently he's had some knee issues, and he is in recovery right now, but he's going to be out of action for the next 4 to 6 weeks. He may be making appearances at the NXT show around WrestleMania, but he's not going to be actively competing as far as we can tell. So he's recovering from surgery. He'll be back. Samoa Joe versus Jay Briscoe on March 27th on Ring of Honor. Stay tuned for that one. It's been inked. It's going to happen. Jimmy Jacobs has signed with WWE as part of the writing team, not as a wrestler. But Ring of Honor, let's see. Ring of Honor appearances are on, May 27th, the same time as Samoa Joe is there. Once again, Jeremy Jacobs, one of the guys from Ring of Honor, he is being signed on to WWE as part of the creative writing team. His last appearance at Ring of Honor will be on March 27th. Lana will be missing from action from TV for a few weeks, big deal, whatever. She'll be filming the WWE Productions movie Interrogation, but you can't wait for that one. Tatsumi Fujinami will be has been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He was announced as one of the newest inductees for the year of 2015. Let's see, Brock Lesnar is Lesnar re-signing rumors are still just that, rumors. WWE is still trying to spin the story in their favor. They're trying to make it sound like, oh, this is no big deal. We're still in talks with Brock Lesnar. We're still trying to come up with a deal. Currently, that little argument that he's had with Vince McMahon has not been resolved, and it's coming up on WrestleMania really fast. WWE wants to have an agreement with Brock Lesnar by this coming Monday. So we will see what happens on Raw as well as on WrestleMania. This could be interesting. Keep an eye on Brock Lesnar. WWE Legends cosplayers, as in people who dress up as Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Macho Man, Randy Savage, etc., showed up at Raw, but they were pushed by security or whatever into changing out of their costumes because they felt that they were too distracting for television. Also, Daniel Bryan signs have been confiscated at live events, but WWE denies any knowledge of this. The people who have been confiscating these signs, I guess they're saying that, oh, there's already enough pro Daniel Bryan sentiment in the audience, and we don't want to, overwhelm the TV crowd with all this Daniel Bryan signs and stuff. So apparently they have been taking away Daniel Bryan signs at the door. Of course, WWE is denying this is happening. Go figure. The Briscoes are being looked at by WWE in spite of them having a long-term deal with Ring of Honor at the time. As far as other people on the Ring of Honor roster, WWE has their eye on a lot of contracts, and they are waiting for expirations to come close so they can begin fishing the waters to see who wants to sign on. Unlike WWE, who will likely lose their MMA guy after WrestleMania, TNA has recently inked new contracts with Bobby Lashley, as well as Robbie E. and Bram. So those three guys will be returning. They've signed new deals and new extensions to TNA. Rey Mysterio, he appears to be dedicated to AAA, aka Lucha Underground. Only because of his knee problems, he will be on a very limited schedule. He won't be wrestling much. He'll be making appearances and stuff, but he's not going to be doing a whole lot. So, it's being said that the remainder of his career will be spent with AAA, which is probably a better thing for him. WWE would just misuse him, or use him as a stepping stone for the younger guys or whatever. But anyway, WWE physician Joseph Maroon is in trouble over recent remarks that he's made about his view of concussions and the, issues over concussions in sports and in wrestling being exaggerated. He was making remarks like riding your bike or riding your skateboard are more dangerous than playing football or wrestling or whatever. This guy, Joseph Maroon, is also a physical consultant to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's out there trying to say that all this talk about concussions being harmful and whatnot is just, overblown. And now he's in trouble for it. He's getting a lot of negative scrutiny over this. So, as well he should, because concussions are nothing new. They're nothing to take lightly, as we've all seen. I mean, we had one recent NFL player at the top of his game. He's a young guy, 24 years old, quarterback, and he decided he was going to retire because he didn't want to jeopardize the rest of his life, never mind his career. He didn't want to risk concussions or anything like that, so he decided to retire. And everyone's saying that it's probably it's a smart thing for him to do. He's doing the responsible thing. And here's this guy, Joseph Maroon, saying all these things. He probably thinks that quarterback dude is a wuss for retiring, but I don't imagine Mr. Maroon's had too many concussions personally, so, unless you've had some personal experience with a concussion, unless you've had them yourself, you have no idea how much these things suck, especially in the long term. They are incredibly difficult to overcome. So, yeah, fuck that guy. Let's see, I mentioned Rey Mysterio earlier. He's appeared in a couple of weeks ago at a House of Hardcore show to help EY beat Tommy Dreamer in a match. And this to me is a little perplexing. Are we going to see Rey Mysterio come out as a heel character in AAA? Or was this just something that they decided to do for no reason other than to bring Rey Mysterio out for an appearance? The fact that EY is a certified heel on TNA right now, I'm not sure what exactly this connection was supposed to be between Mysterio and Eric Young, but Tommy Dreamer is the eternal face character, and those two were in cahoots, and they caused him to lose his match. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait on that one. SummerSlam will be taking place in August this year at Brooklyn's Barclays Center due to the Izod Center in LA being demolished later this year. This will be the first time since 2008 that SummerSlam has not been held in LA. I think Brooklyn would be a good choice. So, Brooklyn wrestling fans, how can you go wrong? As long as they bring wrestling. As long as they bring the wrestling. ECW Press is set to release the biography of the Iron Sheik, which will be titled Listen, Jabroni, in October of this year. This is a book. It's not a DVD, so this should make some interesting reading. TNA can have gimmick matches on TV, on free TV, because they don't do monthly pay-per-views. And for me, this is good for the overall product, because a company that doesn't do a bunch of pay-per-views, they need to do different things with their matches during the regular weekly shows. It's kind of a necessity. You don't want to run the risk of doing the same thing over and over every week. And, the thing is, you're giving your television audience more than, WWE is, which is giving you pretty much run-of-the-mill stuff in terms of the matches. They save their gimmick matches for the pay-per-views, which, I won't even get into that. Don't even get me started on this. I still want to spew hate for Raw, for WWE in general, especially the Divas division, but there's more important and more interesting things to discuss. Although Sting made another appearance this past week on Monday Night Raw, looking more like the TNA version of himself. He was wearing his Scorpion t-shirt and his Scorpion tights and his makeup and his slick back hair and stuff. It's like, this is the guy that we saw on TNA in his, remainder of time with them. And, this is how he's coming out looking. He came out to assist Randy Orton. I don't imagine that there's any kind of connection between those two. Sting has his own agenda. Orton has his own agenda. Maybe they have a common cause, but I don't see any connection between these two. I really don't see them tagging up. That would be a really bad idea. So I hope that doesn't happen for the sake of both of their individual stories. So, it was good to see Sting come out and be active, rather than come out and just stare somebody down or come out and point his bat at something. It's like they need to start using him in a more physical capacity. I would really like to see a match of some kind before WrestleMania. I don't think it would be spoiling Sting that much. I don't think it would be spoiling him at all. I think people want to see what this guy can still do in his mid-50s. The guy is in phenomenal condition for a guy his age. And when you compare him with somebody like Undertaker, who is doubtful in terms of putting on, a decent match, I fail to see how, unless Bray Wyatt slows down to match Undertaker's pace, I don't see how this match is going to work. I don't see how this is going to be a very good match. I really don't see the point in Undertaker winning this one at WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania, as far as let's see, predictions so far. These are just preliminary predictions until we get the full card. I'm taking Roman Reigns over Brock Lesnar because I really don't believe that Lesnar is going to reach an agreement with Vince McMahon over a new contract. They're trying to get him. I don't think he's going to want to come back. So I'm looking at Reigns to win the title. And of course, WrestleMania has to end on that feel-good moment. You really think they're going to take a chance on a screw ending at WrestleMania? I don't think even WWE is that stupid. And like I said, I think Bray Wyatt needs to win over Undertaker. This is how I think it will go. I think Wyatt needs to take the torch. And let's see. The shorts. There was a short script leaked. A short script leaked. Yeah, it's a fake. It's a fake script. But it was plausible enough that it caught some attention. This was this is supposed to be some kind of Vince McMahon versus Brock Lesnar kind of thing. They were apparently going to try, or someone decided that they thought WWE should try bringing the friction between McMahon and Lesnar into kayfabe and to bring it into WrestleMania or bring it into Raw or whatever, just to bring it out in the open, bring it on television, bring it into the public eye, make it a storyline. But again, I don't think Lesnar is going to be in WWE long enough to make this happen anyway. So whoever wrote that script obviously has very little foresight. So yeah, that little leaked script was debunked. We're gonna see Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, and I'm taking Orton in this one. How can you not? The Money in the Bank case, that's a red herring. It's just Seth Rollins. He's not Superman. He's certainly not Randy Orton, who needs to build more momentum and reestablish himself after being gone for so long. And I honestly kind of like this persona that Orton has brought back. He needs to maintain this energy and intensity. He needs to not go back to being this stale, morose, or mundane, monotone kind of guy that he used to be. He needs to be what he is now, and he needs to stay with it. Lal Cena wins over Rusev. Say no more. Daniel Bryan, I'm looking at Daniel Bryan to win the Intercontinental title. He's probably going to screw Ziggler somehow. He's probably going to screw Dolph Ziggler somehow in order to get it. And that's going to start a program between those two, a long-standing desire by Daniel, or by both of these guys, to start a program together. It needs to happen. I mean, pull the trigger on this one. Make the Intercontinental title something that people want to fight for. You remember when Mick Foley was given this junky-looking belt, and they called it the Hardcore title, and Mick Foley coveted that thing like it was the most important thing in the entire company, and he fought for it, and he did everything he could to keep it, and it became a rather hotly contested title because everyone saw that, this is a prestigious thing. The title is up for grabs 24/7. As long as you have a referee with you, you have a match, regardless where you are, when it happens, or whatever. This was a good. I liked that concept. The fact that they're doing this with this same thing with the Intercontinental title, this game of hot potato right now with the title belt, It's kind of dumb unless they are going to instill some kind of hardcore title rules in defending the Intercontinental title. I think they should bring that back. It was an interesting slant. So, anyway, I'm going to take Daniel Bryan on this one. Let's see. Jey Uso may not be cleared for WrestleMania because of a shoulder injury. He injured it at a recent TV taping. I think he injured it at a SmackDown taping. But it's a shoulder injury, and they're saying that he's not going to be cleared for WrestleMania, and they're going to have to switch that card up somehow. They're going to have to switch that tag team thing somehow. And this is really unfortunate because Usos were one of maybe 2 or 3 legitimate teams that WWE has. They have now shortened it down to 2 legitimate teams and 1 that was thrown together. So we will watch WrestleMania and we will see how that unfolds. In the world of Adrian Neville, the Mighty Mouse storyline that people have been talking about him coming into the main WWE roster with, those talks have been dropped. This story is not going to happen. I remember them saying there was some kind of reason about this, and Vince McMahon has always wanted to do a storyline like this for a long time, but the talks about doing this particular Mighty Mouse angle have been officially dropped. We're just going to have to stay tuned and see what they do with Mr. Neville. Let's see, EC3 has recently spoken out about his experiences with Bill DeMott, and as you can imagine, they are negative. You know, they are talking down about, it's like the increasing concern over concussions and the fact that, if somebody is going to smack people on the side of the head as punishment, without any regards for the seriousness of concussions and things like that, there is a big problem. And, like I said last time, DeMott has been told many times, tone it down, kind of, step back a bit. Don't be so old school, as it were, but he didn't listen, and he had to be, he had to step down forcibly, maybe, but he had to step down from being one of the trainers. And there are an increasing number of people coming out and speaking about their experiences with DeMott as a trainer, and none of them are positive. And finally, so we've come to the final item here. Finally. Chris Jericho, in his recent remarks about his life, his career, and everything, all of his endeavors, the general tone is that he prefers what he's doing now over wrestling, saying pretty much that he would be happy with his life if he never wrestled another match. He would say that, yes, wrestling is fun, and he likes to do it every so often, but when something that he's been working on for a long time comes up and he needs to take care of that, he doesn't want to be, trapped into wrestling when he has to work on these other things. So basically, he's pretty much made his choice. And, he also said that if it confuses his fans, he doesn't care. That's what he said. If it confuses his fans by all of this, it doesn't matter. Chris Jericho is living his life for himself, which is as it should be. He's accountable to no one but himself. He wants to make himself happy. He has no obligation or responsibility to make anyone but himself happy. It's a matter of personal responsibility. It's a matter of personal choice, and it's one of those things that each of us has to do. If you choose to make other people happy over yourself, You need to be sure that there's something left over for you. The world of professional wrestling doesn't really afford that. So the fact that Jericho can get away with this, can get away with wrestling house shows just for shits and giggles and not have to do live television, that says something about his cachet in this, industry. And the fact that he can come and go as he wants to, hey, he's made his fortune. He's pretty much done everything he wants to do and then some. So, let's let the guy live his life. Let's let him enjoy his life. He doesn't owe us anything anymore. He's given us pretty much everything we ever wanted out of him. So let the guy live his life. Let him be happy. And that ends my elongated list of little items that I have picked up over the past week. I really don't have much of anything to say off the top of all of this, except for TNA's production values. I don't know what this deal was with them going black and white for a few seconds at a time during the past week's Impact. It's like, okay, I understand that, okay, we've seen Crimson Mask before. We have seen color before, but apparently they only threw the black and white filter on when Rockstar Spud was actually oozing, when he was actually, gushing blood from his forehead. My eyes aren't the best. I didn't really notice it. Of course, it was in black and white, so how could I? But I didn't see the entire thing in color, so I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't want to see something like that in full color. Maybe I wouldn't want to see somebody who's like gushing all over himself. Maybe he cut himself too deeply or whatever, but the fact of the matter is they tried to cover up the more grotesque parts of his Crimson Mask, and aside from all that, the hair versus hair match was excellent. It was worth tuning in for. I'm telling you, this was one of those must not miss episodes of TNA. You need to go back and find a version of last week's episode that doesn't have all of those factoid pop-ups. Those things are irritating, and those things need to stop. There are just some things that TNA is trying to do with their production, with their post-production stuff, that needs to just stop. They need to stop it, okay? It's annoying, it's irritating, there's no need for it, there's no purpose for it, so please, no more of this. Not that they're going to be listening to me anyway, but, whatever. I'm not the one in charge, I don't make the decisions. I'm not the one that, runs the company, but then again, what do I know? I've just been watching wrestling for over 31 years now. Anyway, that was the week that was for the past 7 days, and I'm starting to trip over my words because I'm kind of tired. I've been busy this week. I will be very busy next week. I will try to have a recording in for next week. I will be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania from Wednesday until Monday. That is from March 25th through March 30th. Yeah. So I will be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania for 5 straight days, or 6 if you count Monday, because Monday morning is when I leave, when I come back to Virginia, where I live. So, I will be very busy doing a convention. I staff there. I run a department. So I will be extremely busy that weekend. But again, I will try to keep up to date on the happenings. No promises, and I'm going to miss WrestleMania as it goes by live, but somehow I'm not bothered by it. I'm not going to be bothered by this. I'm going to have too much going on around me to care about WrestleMania. So, and honestly, the card doesn't excite me all that much. The only things I really want to see out of WrestleMania are the Sting versus Triple H match, and I want to see how they deal with Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. I want to see how that goes down, but other than that, I really don't care. WrestleMania is dead to me, aside from those two matches. So I'm going to keep my eye on the results, at least. Maybe one of my friends that's right, he's not coming to the convention this year. Because he's a wrestling fan too, and he would probably have the network. He's probably subscribed to the WWE network, but he's not going to be there. So I don't think I'm. Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm going to totally miss out. So again, I'm not going to be bothered by it. I'm just going to come back and check the results, and I will be back Monday night in time to catch Raw in its entirety. I'm actually looking forward to the Raw after WrestleMania more than I am the big event. So anyway, that's it for another week from me. This has been Deuce Loosely, Devil's favorite advocate, saying this is... I don't know what to say. I'm just going to say see you later. Bye.